In this video, we'll show how to create a purchase order for shop supplies. The first thing we need to do is create a library of shop supplies. To do that, go up and select the Parts tab, Inventory, and then click on Add. In the part number field, make sure you use a name that will help you remember that this part is for shop supplies. So in this example, we'll go with Miss SS for miscellaneous shop supplies. In an office environment, you might be setting up miscellaneous office supplies. You can change that to OS. Just something that makes it easy to find. And now for the description, let's type in miscellaneous shop supplies. Change the purchase cost to 0.01 with a markup of 0. Check the non-inventory item box, and then click Save. Now go up and select the Vendors tab. From the Preferred Vendor drop-down, find the vendor Unknown. Here we see Unknown right here. One thing to keep in mind, if you don't see Unknown in the drop-down list, you may have to go back and add Unknown as a vendor. To do that, go back to Contacts, click on Vendors, and then Add Vendor. Next, click on Add Preferred Vendor to create a record for the vendor Unknown. Here is where we can begin to create a library of shop supplies. First thing we can do is change the vendor from Unknown to one of the vendors which we purchase shop supplies from. In this case, we'll select O'Reilly Automotive. The unit of purchase will be 1. And we can put the price in. We're going to be buying shop rags for $5.99. The description we'll put in shop rags. You can also change the vendor part number, but that's optional. We can go down and click Add, and now we can just keep building from here our library of shop supplies. Let's do another. Let's stick with O'Reilly Automotive, and instead of scrolling through and finding your vendor, you can just start typing the name in. Let's put in an O, and there's O'Reilly right there. See, we have our 1. This time we're going to be buying some white lithium grease for $3.99. And I'm going to go ahead and add a few more for this example. Okay, now we have a nice start to our shop supply library. And this example also shows how you can compare pricing among different vendors. You can see shop rags here from O'Reilly and shop rags from Stag Parkway. Same goes for the lithium grease. We can compare pricing. We can also see for these two items we've changed the vendor part number. One thing to keep in mind that changing this part number may prevent automatic updates of pricing from the vendor. As time goes by, you may find new vendors, you may find a need for different shop supplies. You can just add them in as you go along. Okay, now that we've created the shop supply library, let's go ahead and order some shop supplies. Save and close. And to order shop supplies, we want to be under the Parts tab. Select Purchasing, and then Create Purchase Orders. We can start by clicking on the Add Item from Parts catalog. Now we want to type in our part number that we created, Miss SS. And here we can see our miscellaneous shop supplies. Click on Buy. This brings up the Add Part to Order form. This is if you wanted to add it to a service order and task. In this case, we don't. We're going to click Cancel. Select the drop-down under the Vendor Number field. Here we can see the list of shop supplies and the associated vendors that we just created. Let's go with Stag Parkway and order up some white lithium grease. Now we're going to click on the vendor drop-down and select Stag Parkway. And we can keep going this way just by clicking on Add Item from Parts Catalog. And let's do another one. Go down and click on Buy. Again, we don't want to add it to a service order and service order task. Cancel. Click on the vendor number drop-down. And let's get some shop rags from Stag Parkway. Again, we want to change the vendor from Unknown to Stag Parkway. Once you've added all the parts you want to order, you can filter your list at the top of the Order Parts form by selecting Vendor in the Filter By field, and then go over to the drop-down and select Stag Parkway. This allows you to create one purchase order for these two items, being both from Stagg Parkway. To create the purchase order, we can simply select Create Purchase Orders, and we can see that the purchase order was created. And that's it. That's how we handle shop supplies in dealership software.